Duh, Chris is streaming.
Hi guys, we are streaming. Welcome everybody. The Wild Cards and Wuxia Warriors. We've got an exciting show. But all these shows are exciting, but we have an exciting one for you today because there's a lot of people joining us for the launch stream of Legend of Ghost Mountain. Also to spoil all the things, or at least hint at all the good things we got coming up. So
I'll straight up spoil.
Right. So congratulations, Daryl, on this one. We are funded.
Not just me. There's so many people involved. It's a huge team. I'm one of them, but I'm super grateful and happy we're doing well. This is great.
Yeah, so let's see. Do I do a share screen? We are currently sitting at 5,400. And how many backers? Give us the backer number, please.
That would be 50.
Right. There's two of you. So yeah, thanks guys. This funded right away, and we're really excited about it. And
since there's just one level, it's pretty easy to guess how many backers we have. Math is not super hard on that one.
Order number go. Well, I mean that's the thing too. You guys you add stuff from the rest of the store on your orders too. You can definitely do that, and that does help add the total. So it's not just that, but because we're funded and this is going to be a reality. Daryl, tell us, what is Legend of Ghost Mountain, sir?
So Legend of Ghost Mountain is our action mystery wuxia, ghosts and corpses, everything, both fantasy and martial arts, all combined together into the kind of setting that you come to expect from Shane Hensley, right? Where it's like, oh, you're heroes. Things have gone very, very badly. There's, evil forces at play, and you gotta fight them. Save the world.
Nice. And exciting, and it's great. And the one thing, before we do the round robin, and oh no, we lost Tracy. She'll be back. Tell us. This is kind of unique as far as kind of wuxia adaptations are concerned. It's kind of on where people get their powers from. So you want to explain a little bit about that?
So,
that's pretty cool.
And when we talk about the genre, right? And it's a pretty wide genre, and there's a lot of tropes and expectations. And one of the things that we wanted to do going into it is we need to have our own thing that makes us a little different, that makes us special, not just another version of the same setting. And one of the things that Shane came up with was the idea that the martial arts are powered, the styles are based on your emotions. They're powered by your emotions. And one of the reasons that we latched onto that is that's something you can do at the table, role-playing wise. It's something you can grab onto and really run with. And people have had a ton of fun with it, as we play, right? As you embrace these different styles, whether it be anger or joy or disgust, always a table favorite.
Yeah. That's the one I want to play.
We tried to choose the five biggest ones that are the easiest to express, that are the broadest out there.
So super excited about this. So before we get into more on what Savage Sagas are and all the good stuff, we haven't heard from Amy in a while. It's been back since on our virtual VTT days.
I successfully hidden for a while.
Yeah. We've got an exciting new announcement. Amy has been elevated to El Presidente of her own company, so I had to play this for you. So Amy, tell us about all the exciting stuff that you are up to and what Sigil Services is and where it fits into the whole greater Pinnacle initiative and all that good stuff.
Sure. Sigil Services is now officially the VTT, or Virtual Tabletop Conversion Specialist Division. So we take all of the cool games from any of our clients and make them available to play on Roll20 and Foundry VTT. We have the officially supported Savage Worlds system on Foundry and Roll20, all the sheets and all that kind of stuff. So I'm the one, and it's not me alone. It is my amazing team. I have a ton of people who work for me and make really cool stuff, cartographers, coders, our layout people. I couldn't do any of it without my team. So they're the ones who should really be applauded. I'm just the one that's kind of herding cats.
Yeah, you had so many meetings at Gen Con. You want to give us any little insight onto all the other cool stuff? So, I mean, a side comment, people were like questioning, oh my God, there's no digital level on the current game. Like, is Pinnacle backing away from digital? And it's like the exact opposite.
No.
We are so committed to digital. We went and bought a whole company just to produce digital stuff for us, guys. Like, we're putting our money where our mouth is. So, tell us, like, what besides prioritizing the lovely Pinnacle projects going forward. You're not just PEG. We are Sigil Services is really actually right now the leading VTT support company in the market. So yay for you, awesome, number one out of the gate. But yeah, tell us about that. Tell us about like all the other client cool stuff that people can go to Sigil Services for.
Yeah, so we can pretty much build anything people want. So we have clients like Paizo and Onyx Path and the Free League, and so we build stuff for other systems as well. The goal is really to get people playing, and not everyone can play in person, and so making it possible for people to start playing new games and playing games that they've loved for years online with Roll20 and Foundry VTT, right? It's not just the pandemic, but being able to play with friends in different places, right? If you don't have anybody to play with in person. So we build so that folks can play whatever games they want online. And that's kind of, getting more people into the games and being able to enjoy the experience of their games with their friends is really what motivates the team. We're all gamers, right? So we understand what it's like not to be able to play in person or not be able to have a group workout. So making that really the path of least resistance so that people can do more with the games they have.
Nice. So we have a question, and the easy answer is no to the question. We will absolutely be supporting Fantasy Grounds.
Yeah.
Explain kind of what the platforms that we have to develop in-house for versus the VTTs that do the stuff in the explain that.
There is
what's different between those two?
Fantasy Grounds, right? It's just that Sigil Services doesn't happen to do that. So Fantasy Grounds will still be supported, but that's the Smiteworks folks and Doug over there doing their good work. We have to specialize sometimes. There's only so many hours in a day, and we're mortal beings, unfortunately. So we save times for our players and GMs, and just because we only build for Roll20 and Foundry VTT doesn't mean that the other platforms won't be supported.
Yeah, so this isn't a change going forward. We're not supporting anybody. It's
not a zero-sum game.
Yeah, Fantasy Grounds has always done their version of our stuff. That's the way it's always been. That's the way it'll continue. We are in communicata with them all the time, giving them files and feedback. So that just continues. So that's some cool stuff.
I might have sent some files over to those folks that they asked for today.
Yeah.
like literally just finished that email before this launched.
And it's also like a cool thing that it's not just like the bigger companies that Sigil supports. Like I'm adjacent to a newer one called Strange Owl Games, and we're in a meeting together. And Amy's like, "Oh yeah, we just got this request to look at some things for Strange Owl and their Space 1889." I'm like, "Wait, what? That's my game? What?" And I had no idea that this is.
We're happy to talk to publishers of any size. We want folks to be able to play whatever games they like, right?
Yeah, awesome. So thank you, Amy. Oh, and then some cool other news with Amy. So we are going to be bringing back Virtual Table Talk, and I think we're going to put it over on the Sigil Twitch. And so we just have so much stuff coming out. And then the other cool thing is that we've been doing the Savage World Summer Showcases with Harlan and Joe, and you guys have responded so well to those. We're going to have them start doing some staff interviews so you can kind of meet the new bigger and badder team at Pinnacle Entertainment, because there's so many more of us now. So we're going to kind of run through this. You guys get to you can hear about us and our lovely pets that are snoozing just off camera, because that's all we
Wheelhouse too. Today we had the Roll20 releases for the new North American Rifts conversions as well. So folks can go check those out just today.
Right, and there's more Savage Pathfinder that just came to VTT tabletops this week too, because we know you guys love it and want it, and so improvements and additional releases there. So all the good stuff, guys. So yeah, so we're definitely not slowing down or limiting digital releases at all. We're going the exact opposite. And so yeah, Sean, we're happy to support you guys too.
And that was actually part of the discussion around not having the digital tier right now. It's like, hey, look, y'all, this is the box, and if you want the box, grab it. Great. if you just want the digital stuff, there's actually going to be different mechanisms for that later, whether it's direct through, Foundry or whatever. So it's like, okay, it doesn't actually make as much sense to do it here this way. I mean, we'll see how things work out, but that was the thinking originally.
Yeah, so I think that's like our number one current comment on the campaign.
For sure.
Why is it digital? So I mean, giving you guys a little insight into like our thought process behind this. These experiments, Game Changers are an experiment. They're an ongoing experiment, and it really is an evolutionary environment for us on figuring out what kind of products to offer on here, what variations, how these fit into like the greater production schedule, and so. We don't want any of our customers, especially our digitally minded customers, to feel left out. That's really not our intention on this one. It's certainly or any kind of just greater strategy on like doing less digital things. For this, it's actually the opposite. We wanted to really assess for this campaign because these sagas are kind of a new concept. It's kind of evolutionary, like what we did on Horrid Headstone Hill. Yeah. That if you look at what's changed in the industry over the last 2 years, I mean, we've absolutely put a lot of resources and done a lot of publication into the digital space, and we will continue to do so. I mean, no doubt. But there have been just kind of new challenges that we're trying to overcome in the physical printing space. And so we wanted to see just how this campaign performs with one SKU, one product, purely physical, and just see how what kind of stretch goals we can unlock with that, and then just see how it goes into the rest of our process of feedback and production, and how the real timeline that we're going to look at on how long it takes to get back into brick and mortar stores. So for this one, we just wanted to assess on like how can a purely physical product work in that realm. We're definitely not going to not do digital. Like the book will be available after the campaign. So that was our thing. It's just we wanted to look at there will always be a place for digital, but we wanted to kind of really for this one, the experience of the table is first and foremost in our minds, and so we hope that all the games we produce keep creating positive experiences at the table, and that's what we want for this campaign. So don't worry, digital folks, digital only folks, even we're not leaving you out. We just wanted to see how this campaign would fare, even without the bolstering from the purely digital, to just see what is realistic, what is correct, what's the best way to bring you guys more products and more products faster in kind of the changing physical environment. So don't worry about the digital guys. We got you covered. We're not gonna meet your needs, right? That's important.
Yeah. Well, and one other thing to kind of support that is it's an experiment, right? Don't take we would let you folks know if it's like, hey, this is now a policy that PEG's doing forever in every campaign on Kickstarter, on GameChanger, right? If it was something like that, we'd let you know, right? But because we have complete control over GameChanger, we can do a lot of work to okay, let's try a few different things in a way that we wouldn't be able to do on Kickstarter or any of the other crowdfunding platforms. And I saw you pop that question up.
Yeah, right. I was about to say the same thing. It's not that there's no digital release; it's that there's not a separate digital tier. So if you buy the box, you're going to get the digital files, and we're pushing hard and are in good shape to deliver those as this closes. So it's not.
Yeah, well, and also, as the person who's kind of right now, whenever we get I'm the person that goes through and reads all the feedback and creates a big spreadsheet and implement stuff and send stuff to the team right now. I'm the person that's doing that currently, like with the 270-page fantasy companion.
Lucky you.
A lot of work. And that's something else, right? That okay, are we going to get as much feedback? Are we going to see any hit there? That's part of the experiment too, right? Because we can sit around and think about, okay, what if we did this and run a thought experiment and try and cover all the angles, but it's not real until you do it. And so testing out with Ghost Mountain in this way is going to be beneficial for us for a whole bunch of reasons that we might not even know, and be not beneficial for us in other reasons. And that's why it's an experiment, right?
Maybe something good.
We might
maybe
discover
something bad.
Yeah. And that might also expose things about our process or the way we structure things that we could do better or could learn from this process and improve everything down the line, even if it's not the same kind of structure of release.
Yeah, and Jason mentions the discount thing. So the price for this is like the box will be more expensive in physical no matter what. This is a discount bundle. For digital, in general, those are the margins there in general. And the kind of discount you get there is it's less with Kickstarters because we're not getting shipping involved in that and stuff. So I wouldn't worry about not getting a good deal on the digital there. I think the other thing too is that for digital, we've been experimenting with hey, are we going to put the VTT the same time in the Kickstarter or in the the GameChanger? And recently we've gone away from we could have separated those two, even though we're not stalling or separating out the actual digital goods we're giving you. It's just I think we found that if we promise digital up front, people think that we can get the VTT done the same time we can get the PDF out. And it's just not realistic for Amy's team to even give them the stuff to work on until the printer has started printing it, because we do minor changes up until they start running the presses. And it's just the fact that we're paying for coders, which is a whole different league than of payment than for writing and art, that we don't want to repeat work there. So we want to make sure that we give them this is the final version before they get started. And so for you guys, you're oh my god, I've had my PDF for 8 weeks. Where's my VTT? And it's we have not even given Amy we haven't opened the gate yet, because we want to make sure that the book is final before that process even gets started. So that's kind of and just knowing that the anticipation, even sure, people are willing to pay for several months in advance for a physical book, but a lot of times I think for VTT especially, people want their keys, right? If you pay for it, you want your key right away. So if we've got to wait the several months to get the printing started and then several more months for the work to be done, it's just not reasonable. So we
really appreciate how excited people are, and
right?
We are incredibly grateful for how anticipated these things are, and our releases are well received, right? But it does take time, and we want to make sure that we give the original work justice, right? And so we need to make sure that the things are all done and most of the errata is in and things like that before my team gets a crack at it. And we do have parallel production, so we do start building stuff ahead of time. But again, there's so many hours in it.
Right?
I am constantly pestering people for files.
So I had a great example of kind of how our workflow has evolved over time, I think, is the Riffs line, and the fact that Amy's team has been so hard at work going back into our back catalog of years old things that we produce and getting those out on the VTT platforms. But we've got active Kickstarters, and one of those just delivered. So I think it's time for Sean to give us his update. The Riffs Atlantis is hot on people's doorsteps, and there's a whole lot more that you announced at Gen Con. So you want to give us a little summary of what's going on in the Savage Rifts world, Mr. Roberson?
There's a lot going on in the Rifts world, and first of all, I do want to say I absolutely agree, and I think it's best to let the VTT team take the time needed to really get it right, because there's a lot of coding that has to happen. There's a lot of things that need to be connected up. I studied design and production at the University of Texas in Dallas, and I did a lot of studying on software and video games, and I know how tough coding can be to get right. A lot of things that is easy for a human to adjust to or not, right? With Savage Rift, sometimes it's that tough job of how do I make this fit the original content and lore and sing in the Savage World system. That's even harder sometimes, I think, to transfer over when we're working on stuff in the VTT sphere. From my chats with Amy every week and listening to their team's progress updates in our weekly meetings, and talking to other people like John Stevens, who's on the Savage Drifts development team and helping with those efforts as well. Great guy. Yeah, it's really exciting what we do have. So one of the things that I think a lot of people are receiving and are really enjoying is the new Atlantis and the Demon Seas Kickstarter rewards are finally arriving. And there has been, it's been a big, tough, delayed process because of all the craziness going on in the world right now. So we appreciate everyone's patience. If you do have any questions or any issues, please contact Pinnacle Support, and we'd love to get you sorted. No, the book Atlantis and the Demon Seas has been very popular, as well as the new tactical maps There's an Atlantean stone pyramid, a magic stone pyramid, and on the reverse it has the one side has the outside of it in the courtyard. The other side has the internal structure, which is amazing for any Rifts campaign, as well as a new ruined city with broken down buildings on one side, and on the other side, and it's nicely laid out. I think a lot of times ruins get done incorrectly, especially for modern stuff. And so this is a really great map that will give you plenty of room for gunfights and stuff like that, which are fun in Rifts, of course. And then the flip side has that same type of an area, but more reclaimed with shacks and huts, and people have come back into that region, which is also a very common theme, right, in Rifts, and something that's hard to find good maps of. So these maps are really awesome. We also have a really great poster map of the Atlantean continent that will pair well with the Savage Rifts North America map. And similarly has a notation on scale and distance, so you can track your party's progress. But it is a very, very, Atlantis and Rifts is a very, very big continent. So just understand that it is a very big, about half the scale of the North America map. Also, one of the big things that has come with this set is the Rifts there's the Archetypes card set 1. Which it's not archetype cards, it's archetype dossiers. And
those are hot too. They're different and they're better, guys. They're cool.
They're really good. I shamelessly stole them for Ghost Mountain too.
yeah. You asked me for that file. Yeah. No, and one of the things that I was really surprised at is while I was playtesting them, we did Expedition Deadwood, and I had some kind of like alpha version of it ready, and we play tested, and it just really helped. Each one, let me see, I've got them right here. Each one is really cool because you have a picture of the character with the archetype and their title here, and then on the back you also have their favorite quote, their name, their favorite quote, and then their backstory. And when you open and see how beautiful that is, oh, so nice. And then when you open it up, there's all the attributes you need, all the skills, their gear, and then any of their hindrances and complications, and then extra edges and other things that they have gotten going on. So this is a really great way to jump in and get your friends playing Savage Rifts with you. The other thing that we found, and a lot of people have noticed, is that these are really great if you need someone wants to hop in and play a game one night with your gaming group, or a new player just doesn't know what's going on. Like, I handed these out, and I had my mom, I had my dad, I had a couple of people. One guy had heard of Rifts, one guy had never heard of Rifts, right? And I handed it out to the players, the different choices for the archetypes, and basic stuff like Juicer, Borg, right? Crazy, Cyber Knight. And they immediately, I'd never seen people choose their archetypes so fast, or pre-generated characters so quickly, and it was so smooth. I was really surprised, and apparently fans are really loving this. Some of them are saying this is like the sleeper hit. So these are really great. The other thing that they're really awesome for too is, as a game master, you can use these as fully fleshed out NPCs to bring in as frenemies or whatever you need in your campaign, allies, enemies, right? Acquaintances, and they're fleshed out. One of the things that I worked real hard on was their hindrances. A lot of times we all know what the hindrances do in general. So instead it'll have of just like some rules text or something, unless that's necessary, it'll just have their quote and kind of how that character applies that hindrance. So we had a lot of fun with it, and people are really enjoying that. And then last but not least is the Pawn Set 1, which is really, really, really popular as well.
So much work went into that. Holy cow. It's
like,
so nice to see it.
Yeah, can you show like a couple of those? Because this is like the main thing that's in the Ghost Mountain box too, is the pawns. Like, this is the
So the pawn set, we joked around, we called it a mega pawn set because normally you have the pawns come on these sheets and they're die cut. The quality is amazing, by the way. It's kind of tough because you never know exactly how it's going to look. And Simon Lucas really did his work, and Jess really did their work because
Simon and Jess.
And Jess are our pawn wizard, right? So they really did their work because these are die cut pawns, and we have front and back art. So there was a lot of work gone into these. But instead of just 8 pawn sheets, we have 12. So it's definitely a mega pawn set, bigger than it probably has any right to be. And we have a really, really cool guide. So each one of them has a number associated with it on this guide, and you can flip it over and see everything that's included in the set. So we've got 108 unique pawns in this set, and a lot of them are in groups. So you'll have 5 Zytikic warriors, 5 coalition Skelelots. You've got an entire squad of coalition troops because you've got a sergeant, a rifleman, a heavy weapons guy. So you have everything you need to build out big squads. One of the things we try to do with this pawn set, one of the things I want to do is make sure that it went wide instead of super deep. So instead of providing 20 Skelelots or 10 of one thing or another, instead what we try to do is make sure we had the small units that are really applicable, like a Psystalker and 3 or 4 dog boys, right? So if you get multiple sets, you can just multiply out those numbers that you're able to bring to the table, which I know a lot of people have gotten 2 or 3 sets and are very happy with it. Because also I'll say I hadn't seen these until recently, but I got a chance to play with the pawns at Expedition Deadwood, the ones from Deadlands, and it was awesome. Putting that on top of a tactical map that's full color just brings everything to life. And the other thing that we worked really hard with on these, as you will notice, is the Dragon Hatchling and the Glitter Boy and the Borg, right? So there we go. That's my other finger. They're all sized very carefully to try and get it as realistic as we can. To scale them exactly. So, and they should take up good space on the table. The other thing that we did, which I think has gone really well, is we also have, for instance, the Coalition Mark V APC. It's a top-down view. So you can easily use that on the tabletop and even use it as an interior where you could, we don't have different interior art, but you could flip it over and just move the guys around inside. Or if you're like my group, you have everybody crawling on top of it, trying to break into it in the middle of a chase. But no, this set is really great. I already ordered a second copy because I need to. And the
best part of them is they travel well for those of us that run at someone else's house or a local game store or at a convention out of state. Like actually carrying these, because I lug around a lot of miniatures for the games that I run. I cannot wait till my Ghost Mountain pawns get here. Like,
it's so much lighter. Yeah.
It's hard to overstate the quality of construction. It finds a really good balance between being, not being too light, but being just heavy enough that these are going to last for a long time. The other thing was with the dossiers. I think everyone, Kevin Simbita, Alex Marcinez, and myself, Wayne, we all looked at the materials and we're like, wow, this is just really quality product. It came out really well. This stuff is going to last for a long time. So anybody,
and also they're super specific. So it's like, oh, it's this monster. Bam, there's the monster.
Like I said, we've got again 108 monsters in here. We've got all the big high notes from Atlantis and the Demon Seas. A lot of stuff from the original Savage Foes of North America. Virtually every iconic framework and race that had art is in here. We will be adding to this as a note for anyone who's interested in coalition stuff. These are all the original 101 PA style, the old style coalition armor and weapons. And in the upcoming pawn set, we're going to have the next one. We're going to have the 105 PA new style equipment and stuff like that. And we'll also be backfilling a lot of things from the Savage Foes of North America and other classic stuff that needs to be depicted. But yeah, this is an amazing set and everybody is really enjoying it. I haven't heard one person, I actually haven't heard a complaint yet. So probably jinxing myself by saying that.
Yeah, the people love it. So we got a couple questions for you, and it'd be good to get to like. There's so much Rift stuff coming up. Like, I mean, talking about
Oh, my.
making sure that these crowdfunders are experimental. We've actually merged two Rift ones coming up, just so you guys don't have to wait for a secondary slot to come up. But the first question is when we're going to see Rift Japan, because we totally need Samurai.
That's so not yet. So I am excited to get to Japan. Some people know I lived in Taiwan for a couple of years. I was a Chinese analyst in the Air Force, so I can't wait to get for us to get to Asia. But we're trying to do this basically step from the Western Hemisphere east. And so what we have announced next is the Land of a Thousand Islands, which is South America, and also the Terror on the Dark Frontier, which is a campaign box set similar in style to maybe Horror at Headstone Hill. It's its own thing, but it's got a I think 18 adventure or Savage Tale plot point campaign, plus multiple plot points and adventure hooks and scenic kind of drives that you can take in the region that it takes places in the Coalition Frontier, which is along the side of Oklahoma, Kansas, and just north of Kansas. So that whole region is a real hotspot in the Rifts setting, and the Coalition is moving into the region with a lot of settlers and things like that. There's the Comanche have their preserve, their kind of their nation, their capital in that area, and then there's also other Psystalker tribes, Simvan clans, and as well as there's something else dark moving into the region, kind of sweeping over the land and corrupting it. So some of the stuff, some of these seeds that were planted 20 years ago in the Palladium New West and Spirit West books are actually coming to fruition in this campaign box set. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to take some of the lessons we were learning on Horror at Headstone Hill and on Legend of Ghost Mountain into the Terror on the Dark Frontier, because they are envisioned as complete experiences in a box with all the goodies. And but we're not just stopping there, because no one wants to wait for more Rifts. So, I mean, you are closing out North America with the Land of a Thousand Islands as well with that campaign, right? So,
so the whole Western, North and South America is going to be closed out now. I mean, we'll be hitting. We got the North America, a big hit on the North America, expanding into the very popular New West and Frontier regions, and then with Land of a Thousand Islands. In the future of the post-apocalyptic future of Rifts, the sea levels have risen quite substantially, and there's even a lot of unnatural phenomenon going on. The Amazon River has some crazy stuff going on with it. It may be connected to an elemental plane of water, some even suspect, because so much water is flowing out of the Amazon. But the whole region is now broken up into large islands, and there's multiple cities of renown and Cibola and all this kind of stuff hidden there, as well as a lot of things that a lot of Rift fans have come to be just fan favorites. There's in Colombia, they have the anti-monster, which helps lead the charge on fights against an encroaching vampire kingdom. There are also the Silver River Republics, where different human factions are vying for control of southeastern and eastern South America. There is an alien invasion called the Archons, pretty interesting, unique aliens that are invading the region as well and fighting it out through the Andes with the Empire of the Sun, the returned Incans, allied with Nazcan line makers and warriors. So it's pretty crazy high science fantasy stuff that with a twist of believability and deep characters and imagination that everyone's come to love about Rifts. And one of the things that I think Rifts fans of all stripes will really enjoy about this book is when the original books were written, they were set in the year 102 PA. In the Savage Rift setting, we're at the 109 PA in the timeline, the late 109 PA. So essentially, we're filling in almost a decade of lore that Kevin and I pitched a lot of things to him. We riffed off of a lot of things that were already set up in the books, and I think it's going to be a real great playground for players.
You riffed off it?
Oh,
Yeah, off it. Yeah.
Donald,
But
where's
and
the
then
bennies?
right. So with that is those going to be coming new archetype cards, a new pawn set too, which we have a lot of amazing art coming in for.
So many pawns.
So I turned in I think it was a 98-page art request to the art team, just for the pawns. That doesn't even include the full page and half page art in South America and Terror on the Dark Frontier, and it was crazy.
You're gonna need
No,
a
it
storage
was
unit for those
crazy.
pawns.
I just
So-
love it. At
Unfortunately-
some point in history, like the phrase, "We need art for a glitter boy's butt," came across Jess's desk.
All the butts, all the butts. This is the joke about the pawns.
Yes, they have back art too. So.
Shiny, yeah.
So the there is some cool Palladium stuff that's coming up. Even kind of a Savage Rifts tie-in in one of your future products. So I think it will pop up Steve's question about, hey, what else is going on at Palladium, and then also throw in that cool little link that's back to Savage Rifts. So.
I can't really speak to Nightbane right now. So just so anyone who knows, who may not know, Kevin Simbita, actually fairly early last year, but we didn't announce it for a while, asked me to join him as his business partner and the creative director at Palladium Books. And I've been really happy to Shane and Simon and everyone else, the Pinnacle team, have really supported me and made sure that I could help out and stay on, also working on Rifts for Savage Worlds. But one of the things that I'm excited to announce is I've been working on Titan Robotics. It is a long-awaited book. Kevin and I are trying to get through basically a production logjam. We're working on stuff in parallel now. And so that book, at the Palladium Open House a few months ago, we had a lot of fans. I was surprised at how many people were playing with the Savage Worlds rules. Some play exclusively with it. Some kind of like pinch hit or switch depending on what their gaming group prefers or their needs are. It was very interesting. But no, one of the players, and he's actually written a lot of different things, came up and made the suggestion, why don't you provide the conversion document with Titan Robotics? Because so many Savage Rifts fans really want that stuff, that gear, those options. And I can understand after we discussed it for a little while, I can understand because this book has about half of it is gear, new power armor, robots, guns, and even a new play paradigm where you can play as secret androids working for Titan Robotics in their field teams, their field courier teams. And so, we're really excited to announce after talking to Shane and Kevin that we are going to provide that conversion document to anyone who backs the campaign that's coming up. So that's another really exciting announcement. I don't have a specific date on the campaign. I'll be launching it. It'll be a short Kickstarter campaign, I think, that we're going to do as soon as I finish the manuscript. So it's imminent. Announcement should be imminent for officials. But I know a lot of fans are really excited about that. And so it's something to keep you tidied over until we drop this massive, South America and Terror on the Dark Frontier stuff on you.
It's going to be a big Kickstarter, guys. I mean, there's so much in it. It is going to be amazing. But we're proud to see all the work that you continue to do with Palladium and then all the current stuff we've got for Savage Rifts. It's exciting. We're glad that you guys finally have the Atlantis books in your hands, most of you. If not, if you're in Canada or the rest of the world, we've got our Fun Again shipping partners should be getting you guys tracking numbers soon. But we've delivered it to them, and then it's off to the rest of the world. But we're excited, Sean. So we'll keep you around in case we got any more questions. But thanks, buddy,
Sure,
for
absolutely.
the huge update. There's just so much going on with Savage Rifts. Oh, also, speaking of which,
the update that we just put out.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the superpowers?
Yes, please do.
Yeah, so we just dropped an update to, there's a free document called Savaging Your Favorite Riffs Ideas that we put together. Well, I mean, it was put together before I even joined the team, right, with the original edition of Savage Rifts, but we've kept updating it with the new edition. And with so many people were excited to play superpowered characters in their Rifts campaign. And so we just dropped a free update. I think it's 2 or 3 more pages of content. Some of it's art. But art's good too. But no, we have 2 different options. Thank you for pulling that up. Yeah, you're a pro. So we've got 2 new options. So you can play as a Mega Super, and you can also play as a little more like gear focused. We call it a super soldier. So we feel like that really fits the 2 different kind of paradigms that are common in Heroes Unlimited, which obviously it influenced the original Palladium Rifts and continues to influence players. So we're just really happy to get that out there for everyone. PK Levine and the rest of the Savage Rift dev team, PK Levine wrote up the core of this update. The rest of the team gave a lot of feedback. I went in and edited it and put it into the document. So we just wanted to get that out to you while everyone seemed super hyped. We were getting questions from every direction about it. So there you go. You asked, you shall receive. And also, just so you know, we don't want this to get in the way of production of core book releases, but we are also working on a big rules update to shadow the newest updates in the Savage Worlds Adventure Edition core book, including slight changes to powers and stuff like that. So we're really excited to bring those updates to players as well.
So much good stuff. And then remember today, the Roll20, there's a huge bundle, what do we call it? The North American Armageddon bundle on Roll20 for like all the North American stuff we got out. Amy's team did a brilliant job on that.
Yes.
So that's available to purchase today. But we know you guys want it. So that's another general question too, is people are worried that we are going to try to get everything we can on the virtual tabletop space. We're not going to not support anything. But we just need to give our team the flexibility to find the right project at the right time. So that's kind of we're a little cagey about announcing that kind of stuff because we really don't hold anything. Like we're not big enough to be like, hey, we've got stuff that we've produced now. It's already been printed. It's already waiting in a warehouse, and it's going to be 6 months before we tell anybody about it. Like when we finish the VTT stuff, we give it to you. Like we don't hold anything back. So that stuff's gonna be good. We will get to that question momentarily, but before we let Tracy tee off on all the good things coming from ETU Middle School, which we're calling Pine Box Middle School, we're gonna bring on Jess and Simon because we know you guys love pawns and they have some really good ones to show you guys. So welcome, Jess and Simon.
I was just saying such nice things about y'all.
Yeah, that's a 93-page art order for pawns, and we had
so many butts.
Luckily, that's only for about 10 pawns. Sean just wrote really big text.
Right, it's huge.
Yes. So welcome, guys. So Jess, tell us what you're currently working hard away at on the production scene. Give us a little surprise on what might be coming up on what's on your plate.
I'm actually working on something new. I'm working on action decks right now for the Fantasy Companion. So just cleaning that up and learning something new. So that's kind of exciting.
Tell them about the Ghost Mountain Ponds you finished.
Yes, the Ghost Mountain Ponds. Someone was just asking me, like, how much do we end up with? Because it is a really big set. And the biggest thing is we have the biggest armies, like 10, 15, 20 of a figure, which we've never done before. We've only done 5, 6, 7, 8, somewhere around that. But to do 20, and I never thought we could do it, but we did it. And
because it's martial arts action, big fights.
Yeah.
Daryl
said we couldn't go louder, but we went louder.
Daryl put some really big fights into this, and you face off against hordes of enemies. So Jess did a great job of putting a lot of pawns onto a sheet so that we can get those figures on the tabletop.
Yeah, and we might show you as the campaign goes up, as we've got weeks to go in the campaign, guys. Today's just the first day, and we are approaching our first stretch goal. But Jess, speaking of, we didn't think it was possible, but you pulled it off. And I think Simon even just got these in from production samples from our printer. But talk about the biggest pawn I think we've done. Maybe Rifts. It might even challenge the Rifts Dragons. And also the smallest pawn we've done. Simon, you want to hold those up while? Can I get you both on screen at the same time? Let's see if we. Let's get Simon on there. Let's see.
These are hollow pawns, which we just got the first pre-production samples in.
Do it again! There's not enough time.
This is...
That's the Piney King.
Hold your hand up.
So there you go.
No,
Turn it around.
also facing the wrong way.
There you go.
Nice.
And then we also have one.
There's a fairy!
It's a little fairy.
Fantastic!
Dang it! I need to add a piece of art to my art request.
Another 5 pages.
So yeah, we're also going as small as we can go too, which is kind of tricky because it's like, how small is it? But we still want them to be able to see something. It can't just be a speck.
Right.
So we're going small and we're going big. And of course, we all know the art for Holler is just beautiful and amazing. So blowing that up huge on the table is just awesome.
Yeah, I saw a comment there about the corpse that's being held for scale. We actually go full size for the punking, so the corpse is tad under scale, but he's high in the air, so that's fine. But there is a limit to how big we can make him, and this is pushing it. He's pretty huge.
I know. Yes. So you guys, I mean, and this is kind of all part of being like the. People have been worried that Kickstarter for other companies has really gone like a pre-sale model, and we definitely are going to do a lot of the projects we're going to do, even if we crowdfund them or not. But the interaction is still very important to us. The what we've done with these pawns and what Jess and Simon and the crew have been able to figure out is really because of your massive feedback to our campaigns that have pawns. And
and one of the things with Holler particularly is how it developed as we went along. Jess is a great advocate for the player, so as she's looking through the pawns and laying everything out, she's always arguing for like, well, this isn't enough of this guy, or we need more. And so for Holler, in fact, I'm pretty sure we said we were going to have 3 sheets of pawns in the box, and in fact we had to put a 4th sheet in to make sure that we could fit the right numbers of things that Jess was pushing me to do. So there's an extra sheet of pawns in the Holler box, but they're looking really good. There's one that we punched out right there.
Yeah, I didn't budge on the size of that Piney King.
2 more sheets as well, so they all just drop out. So move them around. Yeah, so they're looking really good. We've also got the box itself, which is nice. We don't have everything in yet, so I can't do a full unboxing quite yet. But
let's get you big again. Let's see. Wait a second. Pushy the button. There it is. Oh, that's a bigger box than I thought it'd be, sir. That's a deep box.
It's got 4 sheets of pawns in there, and that always makes it a big box. It's the same with Ghost Mountain. There's 6 sheets.
We've got 6, right? People were talking about stretch goals earlier, and when we talk about that, like part of it is what will actually fit in the box with so many. Between the book and those 6 sheets of pawns, it's like
physics still do apply.
Well, I mean, the other thing too is that Ghost Mountain has 2 of these maps. These are the Holler maps, but they're thick paper and they're folded.
Those turned out really nice.
So it's an extra space that we need in the box. So Ghost Mountain will be a deep box too. There's a lot in there.
So stuff actually stretches for stretch goals is what we're hearing. Like they're actually appropriately named.
We're gonna need a bigger box.
And just so everybody understands, that's 12 sheets in here.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Not a competition.
Good deal there.
Not
Not a competition, but
to recap, because I think we covered some of this when there were only half of the number of viewers we have now. So yes, there will be digital for Legend of Ghost Mountain. It is coming after the campaign. So one of the comments was about okay, well then what about the benefits for digital versus the people? So the thing is, the digital price is actually going to stay where we've been pricing digital, but for Ghost Mountain, because of the printing challenges, we are going to raise the price for the physical book at retail. So
we're going to do the real price.
The real price.
Yeah.
Well, right. It's not a secret, guys. For Kickstarters and crowdfunders, we build in the added value by doing all the extras, right? That is the added value, and we try to keep the actual the price similar to the retail price or the same as the retail price. But there's Kickstarter exclusive stuff. We are trying to. On the physical side for Legend of Ghost Mountain, it's all in the box. Whatever stretch goals we unlock are going to be in the box. They're going to be in the retail. So we're not doing exclusives, but the price will change. So
we're just picking you a discount if you join in early.
And so the good thing, so that the reward for digital-only backers will be the price won't change. We will keep the price the same as we would have kept it. We're not going to raise the price on digital for physical concerns. And that's also part of the experiment we're doing with the campaign, is just to make sure that our timelines. Like you've heard, just Amy is working on stuff that with the Kickstarter here, and then we got the previous stuff, and then Jess is working on Fantasy Companion, but also Holler, and then also Ghost Mountain. And those are 7 or 8 months difference in our public-facing timelines, but they're all in different stages of completion. And so kind of just part of the, I wouldn't even say growing pains, but growing awesomeness from the company getting bigger now is us trying to find methods to make sure we keep on time and keep you guys getting the stuff in a reasonable amount of time. So that is part of the experiment we're doing with Ghost Mountain. So we realized that not everything is for you customers. It is ultimately about your happiness, but some of the stuff is on our end on limitations and experimentation. So that is part of the let's see what purely physical does for Legend of Ghost Mountain. So don't be angry with us. We are still keeping the
I haven't
physical
forgot you. It's not that there won't be a thing. Yeah.
We got you guys. We got you. So speaking
It's
of
also
gut people,
despite supply chain and shipping issues too. Poor Simon is a saint in this regard, constantly hounding people to get things in containers and moving. And so
we take advantage of his accent. Like people respect us more. But,
On the topic of things moving and getting into containers, I also have our production samples of the Superpowers Companion.
They didn't tell me about this. Okay, big screen again. Jeez, Simon, you keep doing this to me. Keep
he wants
changing
his pretty face up there.
Is that it? This one. That's it. Okay. Do it. Do it. No. One of these buttons is gonna work. There we go.
You're a pro. Yeah, so we have just here I have the box set of the pawns. I'm not going to open them because they will start falling out.
Oh, that cover art. Have we shown that cover art before? I don't think we've shown. That's new art. Ooh, that's cool.
The companion itself is looking super cool. Great spread.
Are there ribbons? Did I
say
see
super
ribbons?
Cool? Is that super cool?
It is super cool.
Super, thanks for asking.
We have
Racking the
the
pennies
cards
today.
which are boxed and also shrink wrapped, so I'm not going to open those either. But
Look,
looking
but
good.
let's
So
just
that
point out
should be
how
on its
thick
way very soon.
that deck of cards is.
The deck, yeah.
Oh my God! So show us those ribbons again, Simon, because those have never caused us any production issues ever, and they're gorgeous and fun. When we made those as stretch goals, there's a reason. Red and blue and black. Those are cool.
Yeah, so it started just changing up the colors based on the kind of the color palette on the book. So Hollow will have green and orange and something else.
That is fantastic. So
Mystery
yes,
color.
SPC people, do not worry. As Simon is on. It's so good. And that's a go ahead, Don. Sorry.
I was gonna say I have to throw out for Carl's the I think the SPC is especially beautiful when it comes to the trade dress. I've been running one of the Doomguard adventures that I wrote for my home group, and I have a new tablet I've been using, and it's a lot higher res than because it's a reading tablet than what you usually have. And oh my goodness, all of like the fine detail and the texturing on it looks amazing in PDF. I cannot wait to get a physical book in my hands because I really think Carl knocked it out of the park with the SPC in particular.
Yeah, they look so fantastic. So speaking about new art, and Tim, because we mentioned Holler wanted to be here, but he has a reason why he's not here, and partially due to his cat. But we promised Holler surprises, and Tracy will be on this. We'll go to Tracy next to talk about all things Pine Box Middle School. We've been calling it ETU Middle School, and it's Pine Box Middle School because the kids are not
the
going
university.
to right. ETUs, yeah, I know it's the brand, it's whatever. It's going to be amazing, but just today is the end of so our partners over at Outrider Entertainment are doing a Deadlands Kickstarter for Black Circle, but the cool new thing is going to happen that we can tell. There is going to be a Holler graphic novel. That is the coolest thing ever.
I have seen this. I have seen this in production. I have seen some of the roughs, and I saw Tim's story when he first wrote it. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
And the best part is Prenzy, who did the art for Holler, who is now blown up as a commercial artist. Like, we got him in when he was right before the big break. And he is signed on to do the comic. So it's not even... it's just going to be... It's so good. So, yes, Dish, Tracy, tell us about the Holler comic. And then also ETU Middle School, Pine Box Middle School.
Wow.
Pine Box Middle School. We need to chat just to keep it. People are super excited for that coming out. I know I am. So give us a dish on what
I'm excited too. So the Holler comic, it's about the main character is Zilla, the Holy Roller, and it also has Percy Ray Bunch in it, and it has the Tinker in it. And it also has a character named Busted Bob, who was based on a character that we had in our playtest of the Plot Point campaign played by my friend Mac McCallum.
David McCallum.
That's right. So, I mean, I love it. It's got heart. It's got all the little holler trappings, including, you know, like the cryptid kind of thing going on, a problematic preacher and all that whole thing going on. It's a lovely story, and I've seen the roughs for it. It looks like it's really exciting.
Oh, so good. So good. Okay, so Pineapple Middle
Pine
School.
Box Middle School. So it is in the same, I mean, people know, like, it's in the same universe as ETU, but we've advanced the ETU universe a few years. So you can, like, it's up to you however you want to do that. But officially, Pine Box Middle School is sort of set in the ETU universe after ETU. And so if you want to bring in ETU characters, it's kind of fun because then they'll be older, or they'll be grad students, or they'll be whatever, right?
Teachers.
Yeah. The teachers are always the same. But
I say that as an ex-teacher, everyone.
Student teacher.
But the main thrust, of course, is on the kids. And we're talking about middle school students ages, 12 through 14 or so, 6th through 8th grade. And there's a whole plot point campaign in there. And the other thing about it is that we're treating this as the update of ETU to Suede, right? So we're taking everything in Pine Box Middle School and making sure it's fully Suede. And that in turn will also sort of make ETU updated in a way. So you can sort of start to swap in some things that the old ETU had, but this is updated for it and stuff. And the plot point campaign, it's pretty cool. And I mean, I'll spoil some of the setting rules for Pine Box Middle School, which are also pretty cool. One is called the McAllister Maxim, and it means that no human will take lethal damage by default. So you have to explicitly say you're doing lethal damage in order to do lethal damage to a living, breathing human. That's not the case for the monsters and, undead and all the other stuff that you're going to be dealing with. But that is one of those things. It's like it's kind of trope appropriate. And it also gives us, it's like these are kids. It also tells you in the rules that these are kids, And so we wanted to be sort of careful about that. But at the same time, these kids are in danger. And we don't shy away from putting them in danger. Another setting rule that we have, and I forget the name of it now, but it's basically whenever a kid decides to do the bad thing, whenever the kid decides to do the stupid thing, you either reward them with a Benny or conviction based on how stupid that thing is that they decided to do.
Which stripe were you?
How kid appropriate
Exactly.
it is.
So you're like when you really should be contacting your parents or going to the teachers or calling 911 or whatever, and you don't, the GM is fully empowered to rain bennies and conviction on them.
Kid's gonna
when they're
kid.
doing that. Exactly. And that again is is sort of trope appropriate, right?
How did you end up at the bus station with a ticket to Nebraska? Kid's gonna kid.
Yeah.
Tracy, you are the perfect person to work on this. No.
I love it. I mean, I love coming of age stories, and I love working with that sort of kid. I like that,
Like a
the kids that rise above, right?
Yeah.
And this has that in spades, from everything from the setting rules to like it's improvisational. They all have the improvisational fighter edge by default. So it's just like Holler, right? So the kids can pick up whatever is nearby and probably have a D4 weapon, and it figures it works, and it also makes them a little bit more hardy than they would be otherwise, because they're pretty fragile from the get-go. Like they're forced to take the major young hindrance, which only gives them like 10 skill points and 3 attributes points, but they get 2 extra bennies per session. And then as they age, so if they go into 7th grade, their young hindrance moves to a minor hindrance, for example. Yeah. As they go into 8th grade, they're still young, but they're not small anymore, so they don't have a -1 to toughness, right? So it's those little things that make it very sort of appropriate to what the genre is.
Yeah.
But the other little twist of Pine Box, besides being in the ETU universe, is that it's modern day, just like ETU is. So these kids are going to be carrying around cell phones. They're going to be they're going to be doing modern things. It's not set in the 80s like, say, Stranger Things is, right? And I think that's kind of fun because in a certain sense, like with ritualism, like it's conceivable you could find a ritual on a YouTube channel from some sort of,
that's a bad influencer.
It is, right? From some sort of, surveillance footage of something happening, and they say, "Oh, that's a summoning ritual or a banish ritual. We need to copy that or whatever." Or they can find it online. Like it's unlikely they'll find something useful, but they might.
They're going to summon the wrong thing.
Exactly.
That's
but
so,
also, I'm sorry, go ahead, Joe.
I was saying that's so Ed and Preston, though. Like, you bring in, like, oh, it's really dangerous.
It is. And then also we have whole mechanics, another little spoiler thing, which I think is so cool. And it's not just Ed and Preston. Scott Woodard initially wrote the book, right? Mm-hmm. And then Ed and Preston have sort of taken over the line to, so they took it over and they did their thing. And now I have it. And now everything that I do, of course, goes through Ed and Preston. But I've been writing all the art orders and doing all the editing and, bringing it up to Suede, and then we'll have everybody read it and stuff. But another thing that I think is super cool about Pine Box is the cell phone rules. So
I'm a big fan of these.
Yeah, this is very cool. So there's, we have like there's the 4 bars, the 3 bars, the 2 bars, the 1 bars, and the no bars, right? Or something along those lines. And we have in each Savage Tale and each plot point how many cell phone bars you have for that particular location, right? So sometimes you have 4 bars, no problem. You're gonna have access to the internet and Google and all that stuff. But sometimes you're in a basement, you got 0 bars, or you have somewhere in between. And depending on how many bars you have, you're rolling to find out if you're going to get signal or not, right? So there's that. It's like a D6 roll. So you can, and of course it changes. And of course, depending on where you are, but it also can change because, the weird supernatural effects can affect cell phone
ratchets up
coverage.
the tension.
Exactly.
Tracy, I love you. So one of my pet peeves about horror is that cell phones just ruin it. So like
I don't think it does, but I think this really does a good job of bringing it to the modern world.
Wrong.
Well, you give it to them and then you take it away.
Well, that's why they don't have them.
Yeah, you have it and then you take it away. And I do that with ETU, like with an adventure I wrote. Some places you have full cell phone coverage. It's fine. Who cares, right? You can text to each other, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes that cell phone coverage goes away. And that's when it starts to get serious and real. And I think it works well.
That's so good. I'm gonna watch more horror movies now.
The level of detail of how considered the setting is. It's amazing. I mean, like it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Ed and Preston and Scott did all that work, and I just am sort of refining it and making sure it's like up to Suede, and we're covering all our bases, and I'm doing this stuff. So
works when you roll for it.
Oh my God. So we just need to throw all the awards at you now for cell phone bar mechanic because that is the coolest thing.
Oh, that was Ed, Preston, and Scott.
That's great.
But yeah, so that's the 411. We do have art. I don't know if Chris, if you have that lineup that we've had sort of floating around.
I will dig as we go on. I will dig.
If you do have it, it's so cool. It's the archetypes, all 12 archetypes in a lineup, and they just fill my heart. Right? They're just so cool, I think, and I'm so anxious to start. We're gonna run a little campaign of it on Thursday nights, and I'm gonna start playing through it, and I think it'll be super fun. So, what else do you want to know about it?
Okay, I can't host and dig at the same time. So the brain only can do so much. Only so much.
So this is going to be a full box set, right, Tracy?
Full box set with a GM screen, with the 32-page something that we're still working out exactly what that's going to be. It's probably going to be some kind of mega adventure or a dual adventure, but I don't want to spoil anything yet because I don't know. And then there's going to be pawns. I think we're going with 3 sheets or 4 sheets. I can't remember now.
3, it'll probably end up at 4, just like Hollow.
Yeah, probably. problem. I mean, we're looking at
We-
maybe
we don't have
six
to
to
All
eight
the
self-control.
heroes are half size, so
right? I think it probably will be three to four. Yeah. I mean, it won't be any more than that. But yeah, we'll have pawns, and the art I think is looking really great so far. We're about a third of the way getting the art in. I've done all the art orders, so we're just waiting on everything. We also have a rough cover that is beautiful, and we're working on logos. So it's all coming together. And yeah, I think that's all that's going to be in the box set. Is that right, Simon? There's scene setters too, like we did with
Setters and
Hollow.
archetype cards.
Archetype cards. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I was just working on archetypes today, so I've been starting to.
Pennies and dice.
Yeah, pennies and dice.
So I'm not invited to the ETU middle school. Pine Box.
That's
middle
why.
school.
That's why.
That's
Yeah.
why.
You just figured it out.
So I'm gonna test it with Simon for our remaining couple minutes to go find that image, and Simon can email to me, and I will show it because the art is really fantastic. I think it's very charismatic and very cool. So we will definitely want to show that to you guys.
Yeah,
The,
if I'm off, I'll email it to you too.
Okay, cool. Brian, we cannot end this. Okay, so talking about feedback, expanding stuff, fun upcoming stuff. Apparently, you and Jody and Clint Back had too much fun at Gen Con and have written or conceived of multiple Sasquatches. I mean, we told you we wanted to talk about it.
Plural for that?
So
we got to talking about
let's talk about Sasquatches.
plural of Sasquatch.
Sasquatch.
The Squeech.
Squeech. Yes, Squeech.
Wait. Yeah, we got to talking about it over burgers and fries and coming up with some ideas, which is really honestly one of the best things about Gen Con was meeting all these people, or half of them anyway, and just getting to talk and to run some ideas and just powwow. It was fantastic. So we came up with an interesting idea about Sasquatches. We want to do something a little different. Just a little different with the Sasquatches than you may be expecting. So there'll
Are
be
we
multiple
spoiling
types.
it?
I'm not a spoiler.
Oh,
I don't
come
like
on,
to.
I
I'm
am,
not a
so
spoiler.
if no
You
one
can't-
stops me, I'm talking all about it.
You can't do that under your breath. We are going to have multiple types of
Yeah, I will.
Sasquatches in the
Multiple
next.
types.
Oh, so
There
And
good.
part of it is because we all had different ideas, and we're like, wait, why not both? Why not all? Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, different types, different colors, different origins.
Sasquatch clans. Oh my god, this is the greatest thing. Just 2 words ever spoken in English language.
Including the-
Sasquatch clans.
including the messed up underground clan that was driven down by the tribes and is now all, haven't seen daylight in generations and are messed
Pale.
up. Yeah,
The blind ones,
right.
the blind cave Sasquatches.
I'm so glad this conversation turned to, like, I think 2 streams ago it was like, please have at least one Sasquatch because I want a Sasquatch pawn, to like Jess and Simon are going to have an entire sheet of varying Sasquatches now. Oh, this is so good. This is
We have one in Riffs.
Maybe we'll just steal that one. I don't know.
Oh my god, it is so good. So, tell us a bit, like you've been part of the company for a little bit now, on just kind of the timelines of, like, you worked on the Fantasy Companion, and now we're working on a Deadlands property. What's it like with the fast-paced Pinnacle schedule that we're trying to keep up with, and we're soon to be having, I think the Fantasy Companion was like the big baby, and that's coming out soon. But yeah, give us
that was the big one. Oh well. A good portion of what I do is writing, but I also do a lot of I do some layout, and I do some editing and things like that. So essentially right now my primary job is to get Abominable Northwest written and get it all set up and ready to go. So I've pulled back from some of the other areas with the editing and things like that, but we're just going along, man. We're just going to get this thing done.
Yeah, it's a
That'd
lot
be
of
great.
work, right? And
Well, it is, but it's fun work. I will have to say that.
So how did you find the feedback process? Because, again, like, that's the thing is, like, these aren't just pre-sales with us. We really do take your feedback into account, and I think that all the products are better because of it. And we even kept on the fantasy and the supers that feedback window open a lot longer than we had planned. So how do you find the feedback? I mean, is it opportunities for growth? Is it are you a better
definitely.
writer from it? Like, talk about that.
Oh,
for a bit.
totally. Well, I mean, I have a master's degree in creative writing, and I had a lot of creative writing classes over the course of about 10 years in undergrad and graduate school. And if there's one thing I learned during that time was how to take criticism, take feedback, take it well, and recognize feedback that is actually leading to something versus the stuff that's, oh, hey, thank you for your opinion, and you can put it aside. Yeah, it takes a lot of time to get used to hearing stuff about the stuff that you've written and being okay with it. And so I'm well past all that. I don't care. People have things that solid feedback, solid critique to give me. I love receiving it, to be quite honest. Yeah.
You've been really good at pivoting too.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, no, this is so good. So speaking of Gen Con, and all the fun you guys had this year, so next year is the 20th anniversary of Savage Worlds. So we're going to try to do Gen Con up bigger than we have in a long time. So we're hoping, one, we're going to do the ice cream social again because I missed out on ice cream, and this is just a cosmic injustice that has to be corrected. But two, we're going to do a big Savage Saturday night, we hope, if we get the space for it. And we're going to have hopefully a room or some space there. We're still figuring all the details out because it's a year out, to bring in all the Savage Worlds games we can. So if you are a game master planning on attending Gen Con 2023, shoot us an email at info@pegging.com and we'll get you in the loop on all the planning so we can fill your games out and let you make sure that you're running your games in the Savage Worlds space and all that fun stuff. But yeah, we're going to do Gen Con 2023 a little bit bigger than we normally do. And then we're also trying to figure out all the other good stuff if we're going to do a Savage Expedition or not. But we are doing Halloween 3. So in next week's newsletter, we're going to tell you where to find that, so you can start signing up for the virtual Savage Worlds convention that we are going to run to celebrate horror, Halloween, holler, and all the goodness there too. So that is also on the docket. And the
can't wait for that. Had a good time last year. That was fun.
Yeah, I mean
damn, what am I going to run this time?
I
better start thinking about it now.
So the I am uploading right now the lineup, which let me find the file because it's cool. So you guys are not going to miss out on, because we're a little over time. I mean, we can go over an hour. No one's going to spank us unless we're in ETU middle school. But damn, Pine Box.
I think we need consent prior.
Right?
Enthusiastic consent.
I don't even know what to do anymore.
We've grown beyond the spanking. Yeah, spanking that's so 1980s, and we're not doing 80s. We are post spanking culture, and we will throw demons at you. Right,
Yeah,
so like
there will be demons.
Right, we will
That's
put
what we're gonna do.
little kids in high danger from demons, but corporal punishment. Yeah. So this is the lineup. I think it's going to go over all of our faces, but like, oh my God, look how cool the art has come back on this. The fine arts student, love it. Yes, the scout, the entrepreneur, the athlete, the budding scientist. I love the lab coat. The crafter with a drone. Could you imagine giving your RPG character a drone to play? Oh my God, that's so cool. That's gonna have to be a thing now.
Oh, it's in the gear list.
Oh, totally. It's in the gear. I saw.
Yeah, outside of a cyberpunk setting, that's really
right. Cool. The delinquent, which is gonna have to be, how many people are on stream now? 9, at least 9 different variants of delinquent. The ghost. Oh, animal lover. Oh my God, we are all. Where's my animal? He's still asleep. I would have showed you Hannibal if he's awake, but I'm not going to wake the puppy. Oh my God, animal lover. So
we'd all be the gamer. Are you kidding me? We're all the gamer.
Oh, the media with the country kid. That is hot. That is great. Thank you, Tracy, for sending that along so we can all get a preview of that because
delinquent with high conviction.
Yeah,
I'm the best delinquent there is.
The delinquent's jean jacket says "Call me princess" on the breast right there. I just love her.
Oh my God. Yes. So yeah, we're glad that we could spoil some of this for you guys. It is fun getting to see this stuff ahead of time, and ooh, I like that name. Was that Brian who put that in? Halloween 3: Return of the Big Boys. Oh, that's John Doom. That's good. That's good. I like it. That's
I also just got a latest layout graphic design from Carl Kiesler on Pine Box Middle School, which is looking really good so far. Really good.
Oh, so excited for Pine Box Middle School. I'll make Simon add me to the folder, and then I can no longer call it whatever that other name was. It is Pine Black's middle
Thing
school.
is, the folders, it's all the stepchild of ETU at this point.
That's true. Well, that's the other thing. We've also we upgrade. So we upgraded the heck out of our website today, so the website did not crash on launch.
Yay!
On our GameChanger, right? So that's a bonus. We've done that the last 3 times. The website goes down for 2.5 hours, and everyone's like, guys,
people don't have to wait 30 minutes to check out. Hooray!
Right? You don't want to know how many cores we have now. It is like we could do some serious stuff on our website, but we're still
It's
just
so
providing-
much fan love. It's
true.
the volume of appreciation.
It is.
Oh, nice. Hey, Robin Tuckle. There we go. Yes. Robin is a friend. He came out to Deadwood. Meeting him. And I saw he got to go to Gen Con. I didn't get to go. But yeah, guys, we've been over our hour. Any final... Let's see. Let's go back. Donald, tell us what our first stretch goal is for the Legend of Ghost Mountain campaign, because that's a cool one.
It is. So before I talk about the specific one, I will say, just to reiterate, something I think it was Daryl or Simon said earlier. All of the stretch goals are going in the box, right? So the box set is only going to get chunkier and meatier. And
Exactly. There's no
stuff.
add-ons. There's no nothing. It's just a box, and that's it. So it's all got to fit inside here.
But the first stretch goal is for the Ghost Mountain Wild Die. So it will have, as you can see, if you look at the top of the page in the settings bar, we've got the logo for Ghost Mountain, and it's also everywhere on the campaign page. And so that's going to be that on the 1 or the 6, I forget which. We usually
It's
do.
the 6. We always do the 6. 6 is
better not be
ones
the
are
one.
bad.
We'll do it on the 3 this time, just for fun.
Come on, people.
Hold on, let me. I have to
You're
pull
gonna
out
be
my
heart
dice and look
attacks,
because I
Don.
Yeah. 6s are good. 1s are bad. You don't want to get your logo and then be like, oh.
Right.
Well,
I mean, Savage
it's-
Worlds is growing enough where you go to the dice vendors and they actually have the logos on the 6 now. They know.
Yeah.
that we don't want the logos on the 1, people. There's a market for the 6.
Yeah.
Okay, let's-
And then a few
But
really
yeah, so the
weird
first-
ones that have the logo on both, and then you're like, what did I roll? Is this good?
Yeah.
Is this
I
bad?
literally
don't
just
know.
encountered that this Sunday. I rolled a d6 and I was like, I don't. What is this supposed to be?
And because the 1 and 6 are opposite, you're like, I can't even just look and see.
Oh.
Hey,
Yeah,
I
so
ran
that
into
is
a
just
Gen
kind
Con
of-
too.
That is just the tip of the iceberg. Somebody is asking about what kind of plans we have.
Yeah.
Generally, the stretch goals are going to follow a theme, which is they take what's either in the box and make it cooler, or they give you something else in the box that makes the stuff that's already in the box even cooler. Right? So it's all about upgrading and making things more fun and giving you new ways to do existing things.
And my favorite one that's on the horizon is the mass battle playmat. Because when we talk about big fights, we also go a few levels up, and there's more than one mass battle where you've got to lead thousands of people to take a city or protect or stop an army. And we're like, some people are a little shy about getting into those subsystems. So let's provide some things that make it easier, that help people, that kind of walk you through it. So you'll see it's not so bad unless your entire army's destroyed. And it's pretty
Then it sucks.
That's one of those things I really enjoyed when I read through Ghost Mountain was, I'm a big sucker for getting the team together stories, and the next step up is the get your troops together story.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're going around and you're meeting all these groups and getting units, and it's again, it's not even just one battle, right? How well your army fares from the beginning to the last battle.
Right,
Also,
'cause you get to
gotta-
keep those guys for later because they're going to come up. If they all get killed, you're like, ooh.
That's one of the cool
Dudes.
things about why this is a saga and not a setting. That's why we're calling it a saga. Is that there is a narrative story here. There is an arc. The sample archetypes that come, not really sample. They're like the integrated archetypes. They are integrated into the story. So yes, we do give you some sandbox elements, and you can make your own ghost wardens. But the ones that are written do have those ties and that narrative already in there. So to get the gang story together is we give it to you like it's there, so you can use it and it's easy. So that's kind of a part of how this is a little bit different as well. But the one cool question that came up that we'll answer now, because it's an easy one. We do have a cultural reader on this. His name is Tony Lee, and he knows Savage Worlds as well. So we made sure that it wasn't just about the cultural aspects that were respectful, but also making sure it worked well in Savage Worlds. So Sean, thanks for that question.
And I think the sub question there is why am I writing it and not Tony? And the big question and the answer is you need not only familiarity with the setting and genre, but also familiarity with Savage Worlds game system, and also familiarity with Shane himself and how he thinks, because this is his setting. And there are a lot of people that do one of these three things, but I was kind of like the crossroads where all three connected, and that's why I'm on the book. Right? And I'm pretty proud of the result. And Tony didn't want to punch me in the face at the end, so that's a good sign.
That's a win. Right? So, guys, we are 60% on the way to the first stretch goal, which is those dice. So I think we only need 40 more backers. So get it. If you're waiting, hop on. Digital only, guys. We will get you after the campaign, so don't worry. We're not forgetting about you. And other than that, we will be back later this week on Thursday for our Savage Showcase. We're rapidly approaching the fall, and there's still so many people in the Savage community that want to get to know you guys and interact. So I think we're going to go from the Savage Summer Showcase to the Fast Furious Fall features.
And ask your questions about Ghost Mountain in the comments, and if we get some, we'll do a show about it. And we'll come on and I'll tell you, well, here's what we're thinking, or
Yeah, we've got so much more to talk about at Ghost Mountain. Just the idea behind these sagas, what they're about, where does this story start? I mean, so much more good stuff. But we had to spoil all the other good stuff that's in the works, printing and coming up, because it's my show and I want spoilers. And so I'm going to get them. Otherwise, guys, thanks for showing up, and we will give you more Legend of Ghost Mountain content. The GameChanger is live now. It's running for 3 weeks and 2 days. So yeah, give us some comments. Hopefully we've answered the digital comments that were the first big round, but we'll start digging into the goodness of what is the content, what's the fun, what are some future stretch goals, as we've got those lined up for you guys. Donald and Daryl have hinted at some of them. The playmat sounds amazing. So yeah, guys, hopefully this will be a great new sub-genre of product for us, and we appreciate your jumping on this one so enthusiastically. Not so enthusiastically you broke the website, but we did I think the guy said 12 times as many.
Yeah, we got a stronger website. So
we
the bar's
did.
Higher now.
We upgraded. So thank you guys for supporting us and letting us level up and upgrade the back end stuff. And we'll see you guys soon. So take it easy, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. But Simon needs to get back to work. Simon,
Poor baby. He is so busy all the time.
I may have been typing.
Well, cheers, guys. We will see you on Thursday. Cheers.
Bye.